One planet, 7.3 billion people, only one you. Life offers us many opportunities and learning experiences. Are you ready to explore and discover this? The life and energy all around us, the spiritual world, and what is unseen, along with your own personal soul adventure? Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector, is the spiritual connection you have been prospecting for. Internationally known as a tested and professional clairvoyant medium and spiritual advisor, Marc's work as a metaphysical teacher, medical instructor, radio show host, inspirational writer, and hiking guide are here to help you on a journey of self-discovery, healing, inspiration, education, and a whole lot of spiritual awesomeness. Dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live. For more information on Marc's spiritual practice in Seattle, Washington, please visit marclainhart.com or internet search The Intuitive Prospector.
Yes, yes, yes. Good morning. good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in this beautiful planet of ours. This is Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. I am your host, Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector. Good morning to all of you. I hope that you had a fantastic 4th of July, that you got out and celebrated in a safe way, in a way that made sense for you and your family, because we have many different opinions and many different ways of navigating this pandemic that we find ourselves in. But I hope that you celebrated independence. I hope you celebrated and maybe learned a little bit about history, learned a little bit about our flag. I myself, as a constitutionalist, as a veteran, I always like to reflect on where we've come from and where we're going. And it's always important to be a student of history, because those that don't learn from history are condemned to repeat it, as the old saying goes. So good morning to you. If you're joining me for the first time, let us know where you're from. Going to be doing the Healing Cafe at 8:30 with a very special guest who's going to be joining me to help me with readings this morning. He is a student of mine, somebody I've mentored for a long time, and he may be a little bit nervous, but at 8:30 we're going to be bringing him live. Not sure how we're going to do it yet. We're going to either do it via Facebook here, or I will do it via Zoom in my Zoom room. But his name is Gabriel, and he's going to be joining us for the Healing Cafe at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So this morning, I want to talk about, yes, I have 3 eyes, and so do you. Some of you may be asking, what the heck is that guy talking about? So what I want to talk about is I want to talk about the third eye. I want to talk about the awakening process that we seem to be finding ourselves in this very interesting, how can I say it, unprecedented, changing, challenging times, awakening times, transformations times, from the caterpillar to the butterfly, however you want to, look at that, and talk about the third eye. Talk about, I have 2 eyes to look, but I have 1 eye to see. And for some of you, you may not be even familiar with the third eye, or, awareness of the spiritual awakening that we talk about a lot of times. And I always remind people that your focus does determine your reality. And the art of all the spiritual practice, if you find yourself on a spiritual practice, is the art of shifting perspectives and, being able to look at the bigger picture of what's going on. So this morning I thought I would talk about that, give you a totem animal spirit, give you a crystal for the week, and also give you a numerology number for the week. So again, if you want to learn more about the work I'm doing, if you want to subscribe to my page, please do so. Just go to marclainhart.com, internet search the Intuitive Prospector. You can find me just by typing in my name or the Intuitive Prospector. I come up, I'm associated with Best American Psychics, Best Psychic Directory, which is Bob Olson's directory, also Ariel Spiritual Community, great community of colleagues there, and of course FamousPsychicMediums.com. Those are the 4 professional affiliations that I'm a part of as a spiritist, as a psychic, as a medium, as an inspirer, as a life coach. And also want to let you know that we're going to be having our Level Up series later this afternoon. It's free. It's via Zoom. It's with my colleague in Norway, Remichus Davis Wright. We've done a 4-part series called Level Up, and we're going to be doing our 4th today at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll see if I can get that link for you here. I know I've got it somewhere, and I'll paste it in the comments section, because you have to register to get to the into the free room. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find the link here for you, and then what I'll do is I'll just paste it right in if I can. Let's see here. Let's copy events. Copy. There we go. And let's see here. Let's put it on the Intuitive Prospector page. Okay, paste. I think that worked. Okay, so it's in the comment sections down below. And that is going to be our event, our 4th part series, Level Up. It's free. It's open to the public. And then we're going to be taking a month off for July. I guess we're in August, and then we'll start up again with another 5-part series of inspirational talking, life coaching. It's more on the inspiring side than the psychic medium side, but you never know with me. In my path of spiritualism, I'm always open to what the spirit world has and where they want to lead me and where they want me to talk about and who they want to come through. So, but it is, the link is there down below in the comment section if you want to register for that. That's later this morning at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you register for the link, what that'll do is it'll take you over to Eventbrite tickets, and then just click on Find Tickets on the events page, and that'll take you over to Eventbrite where you register. And again, it's a free event. When you register, then what will happen is you'll get a notification of the Zoom link, and the Zoom link is also in the Eventbrite page. So the times are going to be 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is California, 12:30 p.m. Mountain Time, which would be the Colorado area, 1:30 p.m. Central Time, which would be Chicago area, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, which would be New York, and then that's 7:30 Central Europe Time, which is the UK, and then 8:30 Northern Europe would be 8:30, which is her time up in Norway. So I hope that you'll join us. So we'll be talking about what's going on in the world. It's 1.5 hour long via Zoom. We have a lot of fun, and it's really just to provide a safe space free of judgment, politics, opinions, and really just kind of get into the best version of yourself, if you will. Let go of anything that gets in the way of inspired living. That's my radio show. That's who I am, and Inspire, and my show is Inspired Living Radio. And we're going to be having a guest on this Wednesday. So you'll want to go over to the Inspired Living page and make sure that you join the over 1,500 people now, I believe, on the Inspired Living page, which is called Inspired Living Radio on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter under Inspired for Us. And Kay Reynolds is going to be on talking about her new book, Evidential Mediumship. So I'm excited to have her on this Wednesday, which is the live show. And then if you miss it, don't worry, it's always podcasted on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, Podbean. So there you go. And of course, in the description, I hope that you get on my YouTube video playlist, which is growing. Join the 307 spiritual prospectors in search of their own spiritual transformations, their spiritual healing, and of course, your own spiritual gold for what you do in life. So let's talk about the third eye. Let's talk about what that is. What is the third eye? Why did I say that I have three eyes today? And a lot of us look and see with these eyes, but we're really... Maya Angelou talks about we're as blind as we want to be, and I truly believe with what's going on in society today that there are a lot of people that are blind, that whether you want to call it the emperor's new clothes or they just don't want to see the reality for what it is, and we're part of a great awakening. It's something that I talked about at the beginning of this year, the three words, and I'll keep repeating myself of the three words that I keep coming back to that I talked about in my podcast back on January 8th when I knew that COVID was coming. I had heard about it after the day after Christmas and started to watch it. But the three words I keep coming back to, the great coming together. I know with everything that's going on right now that it feels like some people that I've been doing readings for, they're asking me, is this the end of the world? No. Is this the apocalypse? It might be, but the apocalypse from my perspective, again, is the lifting of the veil. It's not, and I know the Bible, so I was raised Catholic. I was confirmed an adult in Catholicism. I've studied other world religions. So I know all about the word apocalypse and the doom and gloom and the fire and brimstone that comes with that. And I don't find that to be the case in my spiritual path. I find it to be the veil lifting. That's what the word actually breaks down to if you look at the root word. And I like to look at root causes as a logical thinker, as an analytical thinker, as a critical thinker. I like to look at why we say the things that we do. Why do we do the things that we do? And for me, it's really about. Sorry about that. Clicked on a link and it took me to a YouTube video, I guess. But as far as the apocalypse or the end of the times, I think it's just it's a new beginning. It's the age of the Aquarius. We're in the year of the four, numerology standpoint. Year of the four is called the master builder, dedicated worker. So you have to tear old things down in order to build anew. And this COVID's going to be with us for some time. But if you look at the astrology, if you look at the numerology, you look at the eclipse that we had on Saturday night, which was beautiful. For me, it's not the end, guys. And I come back to the three words that I'm going to give you that I talked about in January 8th. The great coming together, sustainability, and self-mastery. You're going to see people that are going to be able to self-master this unprecedented time in our history, and you're going to see other people fall apart. And I'm already seeing it with people who claim to be spiritual, people who are doing, as an observer, doing actually not the spiritual pathway, which is quite concerning to me. The golden rule in spiritualism, we talk about the philosophy of the golden rule. Treat others as you like to be treated. I see a lot of stuff out on social media. I see a lot of stuff out on the news cycle. So I would just remind you to be mindful of what you're taking in and what you're saying out, because your words matter. And I'll be talking about that today on the Level Up series, about how your words do matter, because your thoughts become your words become your actions become your behavior become your habits, and your habits become your destiny. So let's talk about signs of the third eye opening. What is the third eye? But before we do that, Metaphysical Mocha Mondays would not be Mocha Mondays without a nice cup of coffee. So I hope that you'll grab a cup of coffee, you'll grab a cup of tea. You'll move into the magic of the moment with me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me on my journey. If I don't know you, welcome. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for allowing me to come into your home or into your mobile phone or to your desktop to give you inspiration, encouragement, motivation, positivity, and to find that inspired life that we're all looking for, that happiness, that peace, that zen. And I've been doing this show for about 2 years now. I've been on the air for Inspired Living Radio for 5 years now. So again, please get on my playlist, subscribe, share out, and I always remind people, if you share out or subscribe to any of my pages, at the end of the month you are entered into a drawing, and I pick one person out of a digital hat that I just put the names. I got a database, Excel spreadsheet that your names go into, and then I randomly pick, or I should say Spirit randomly picks, and then I contact you privately for a 30-minute reading. So I hope that you'll subscribe, share out, like, all that good stuff that we do in today's society of social media. So let's talk about, the third eye. Like I said, we all have three eyes, myself included. I didn't always see the world this way. It was through great trauma and tragedy that really transformed my journey, my belief system, and who I am today and the work that I do. And I like to say that we have three eyes. Two to look, one to see. And what I mean by seeing is this third eye, the brow chakra. This connects to a little gland right behind the right ear, down in the center of the brain, called the pineal gland or the pineal gland. Pineal. I've heard it both ways. Chakra, tomato. So don't get so much into the pronunciation of it. But the pineal gland is a very small gland in the back of the brain, which also connects, if you follow the chakras, connects up here to the crown chakra, which is the halo effect from old paintings and past. You'd see people have a gold aura around them. This is your ability to connect out. And if you think, and again, as a logical thinker, as a former Coast Guard, as a former retired firefighter, EMT, I never thought in terms of that way. It was pretty much what my eyes, what I would look at would be my reality. But then when I started to open up to what is unseen, just like the air you breathe or the wind that moves the trees, behind me, that is all unseen stuff. Things that are seen only with the microscope, things that are only seen with the telescope. It started to get me thinking in a different way of energy, frequency, and vibration, no different than how your mobile phone is used today. Think about Nikola Tesla when he started to talk about this concept of a little black box that would connect people. And this was back in 1865, guys. Back in 1865, using energy and frequency and vibration, the father of frequency is Nikola Tesla. He talked about this little black box that would connect people to around the world. And people just looked at that and said, "No, my gosh, you're a warlock. You're dealing and dabbing in stuff you shouldn't be." But then we jump to today and we take it like it's no big deal. It's actually part of society. So imagine what we're in 2020. I was going to say 1920. Maybe we are in 1920 with some of our logical or illogical thinking. But just imagine what 100 years looks like from now. As a futurist, as a seer, I see us connecting in such a bigger capacity, especially of the brain, especially of telekinesis, the psychic energy, as technology helps us to evolve and to transform into how we communicate. Because this communication process here through the vocal cords, which is just a vibration off a cord put into communications that your eardrum picks up and resonates with, or maybe if you're hearing impaired, you can still communicate via sign language. So I do this. It's a really primitive form of communication. So I've always long said, when we start to evolve and we get past where we're at right now in part of this transformational process, what's going to happen, and again, these are just some of the things that I started to experience in my awakening process. And the awakening process is not easy, guys. You have to let go of old things, old relationships. It's not always cupcakes and unicorns and rainbows and kumbaya. And there's a lot of healing. There's a lot of internalizing and going in and facing the dark night of the soul. But at the end, it's also allowing those cracks of your life, allowing the light to come in, or those scars of your life to heal over with that, stronger scar tissue, if you will. And that's really what the spiritual process is. It's awakening to something bigger than yourself, to realize that you are part of a collective whole, whether you call that God, whether you call that, consciousness. For some skeptics out there, some atheists, they don't believe. And that's fine. That's what free will is, right? Choice and free will. The atheist approach is don't believe that we're just here by chance, and that when we die we just go into the grave and back to the earth, and that's it. For you agnostics out there, that's wanting the proof of something bigger than yourselves. And trust me, I've dabbled in both the agnostic approach of wanting proof of what is or what's to come, especially with the work that I do, and sometimes even the atheist approach, like, man, maybe I just don't want to know that there's something to the other side, because sometimes it's really painful, especially as a sensitive, especially as an empath, to watch what's going on in our world. And I may hold it really well together, but just so you know, that burden can be very heavy. So one of the things is I noticed in the awakening process is when I started, again, three eyes here, one eye here, two eyes here. You have two eyes to look, one eye to see. And I started to notice a dull or a pressure right here between my third eye. It's almost like, you know, when you wake up in the physical journey, like this morning, you wake up, thank God for coffee, right? And you rub the sleep out of your eye, and you're kind of trying to get your body going, you know, stretch and get some coffee. The third eye is very similar to that same physical approach. When you start to open up physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, you may start to get maybe a dull pressure right here, or just a sensation of sensitivity right here. That is the third eye giving you the signs that it's starting to awaken. For me, I still have this to the day. I feel like I have buzzing in my ears. It feels like, not to be gross, but it feels like my ear hair is growing like 1,000,000 miles a minute. It feels like my hair is coming out of my ears, and we all have ear hair to help balance, because it really, the hair in your inner ear is to help you balance, believe it or not, from an anatomy and physiology standpoint. But it feels at times I get this buzzing in my ear, and all of a sudden it feels like this hair is just coming out, and I have to do this, like it itches almost. That's just another sign of the awakening process. And just when you awaken, it's a continued process. It's a lifelong vocation of developing and learning and mentoring and understanding. And you know, even as a teacher, teaching students and mentoring others, I still have mentors that teach me and still help me deal with a lot of the changes and the transformations in the alchemy process, that inner alchemy process. Counselors, therapists, you know, I've done hypnotherapy, I've done biofeedback, I've done personal counseling, grieving counseling. So, you know, there are people to help you out there. But what happens too is you start to not only have this maybe dull pain or the buzzing in the ears, you may also start to tune into your psychic abilities. And the psychic is really, when I started down this path over a decade ago professionally, you know, in my mind, psychic was calling 1-800-WANDA with the big hat and the beads and the smoke, and she's going to tell me the end of my life and when I'm going to die and the winning lottery numbers. And I realized it has nothing to do with that. The psychic really breaks down to of the soul. It's your journey of developing and understanding why you're here. What's your purpose? What's your passion? What are your pleasures in life? And how do you navigate and how do you make a change in life, right? That's what the word psychic really breaks down to. And you start to get some daily psychic insights to, you know, everything that I saw coming for this 2020, which I think a lot of us would like to skip. But I did. I saw great chaos. I still see a lot of things building up to, especially here in the United States. As the rest of the world seems to get their act together, the United States is still a country very divided, still dealing with not only racism, but a scar that, you know, goes back 100 years, over 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, 400 years ago. Systemic racism. We're dealing with a lot. There's a great reckoning that's coming to, you know, the surface, if you will. And that's the apocalypse for me. That's the raising of the veil. But at the same time, great coming together, sustainability, self-mastery. I believe that a rising tide will lift all boats, just like in nature, just like in science. But you may start to get some daily psychic insights of things that are coming but yet have not taken place. Those are premonitions. Those are predictions. They don't mean that they're always going to turn out like you see, but you start to tap into this consciousness, if you will, and that is part of the third eye opening. You may think of somebody that you're thinking of, or they come through in a dream, and they may then reach out and contact you and actually say, hey, how you doing? Just checking in. You're like, hey, I was just thinking about you, or I just had a dream about you. This just happened with me last night. I'm actually going to, after I'm done today, I'll reach out to this person later because they came across in my dream, and I just want to reach out and say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? And she's over in England. So you may see colors around people. The auric field, we work with colors a lot. I worked with colors in a group over in England last week with Paul's group. He invited me over, friend of mine, colleague Paul, in Northern England, and we talked about the auric field and working with colors, which is very, very powerful. And so you may actually start to see colors around people. That's part of the third eye opening up. That's part of that seeing process. What I love about little kids, especially infants, is they don't necessarily understand what they're seeing, you know, with the human anatomy, but they can see in colors. They can see the spirit world. They don't have filters that, you know, that block them out from what is seen and what is unseen. So a lot of times, especially with infants, they may actually resonate with the color of their parents, the auric field of their color. And so when a stranger comes in, they don't know this stranger, but it also might be seeing the stranger and the color, and they don't resonate with that color because they don't know it. But then they'll say the parents come back and it's the color of yellow and green, very calming to them. And that's what would calm the baby down. So when you start to think in terms of energy and frequency and vibration and colors and what is unseen, that is part of the awakening process. And again, we have 2 eyes to look, we have 1 eye to see, and we have 1 mouth to drink coffee. So happy 4th of July to you. Thanks for tuning into today's show. We're going to get ready for the Healing Cafe here in about 10 minutes. Or 4 minutes. Wow, time flies. I'm going to be doing readings, going to be doing direct conversations with you, so make sure to come back for the Healing Cafe. It's right here on the Intuitive Prospector page. It's something that I do. I try to do every week if I'm not traveling and if I'm, don't have technology issues, because we are still Mercury retrograde until the 11th of this month or 12th of this month. But it's my way of giving back. I love to connect to people. I love to talk to people. The Healing Cafe is a great community of great people, encouraged, motivated, inspired. Again, we don't allow bullying or trolling there, so if you come in with the thought of wanting to bully or troll, you'll get banned out. I have a team behind the scenes. Good morning to my team. Thank you guys for being on this morning and kind of managing and moderating all the comments that come through. I appreciate you. And also, we're going to be having a special guest coming on. He's going to be practicing. So be kind, be caring, and be patient, because he's going to be also giving some readings as well when I bring him on. This will be his first time, and we're going to be giving readings together, so I'm looking forward to having Gabriel on. The other thing is just that a part of that awakening process before we finish. Remember, just maybe some dull sensations or pressure here to the third eye, the brow chakra area. That's what I'm trying to say. You may get some buzzing or tingling in your ears. Again, because it's connected right behind the right ear. Again, you go to the back of the brain, the pineal gland, which connects to the crown chakra up. And again, we're thinking just in terms of energy and frequency. You may start to get some daily psychic insights. Remember, psychic is of the soul. Your own soul is kind of growing and expanding out. When you expand out, you start to embrace things that you may have not experienced before. You may be thinking of somebody that contacts you, so you tap into consciousness. You may start to see colors. You may have an increased sensitivity to light. This may, and I found that to be very true. You may, if you meditate, this will be the reason to meditate more. Prayer is thought going out. Meditation is listening back to that response, especially during an awakening process. So you may start to experience some visions or some insight to your meditations as the awakening process opens up. You may have increased synchronicities or coincidences. Again, Carl Jung talked about synchronicity as meaningful happenings. I happen all the time to watch them happen in patterns and trends as a numerologist. And your dreams may be intensified. So, again, there are many different things to help you with your inner guidance. That's what this really is. It's a representation of your inner guidance. Maybe it comes from just age. Maybe it comes from experiences in life. Maybe for me it happened through trauma and tragedy, or what I call the TNT that literally blew my life up with the loss of my brothers. And the search to find them again. That's what mediumship became for me. But as far as, just some affirmations to maybe help you with this awakening process. And again, with everything that's going on in the world, there's a lot going on right now, you guys, and it can be overwhelming. But you may just, here's just some things that I say to myself. I am in touch with my inner guidance. I listen to my deepest wisdom. I seek to understand and learn from my life experiences. And again, I say life is learn it from experience, and fail often, fail big. Failure is first attempt in learning, and we're all here to learn and to grow. And not every lesson in growing pains continue throughout your life, not just through puberty into adulthood. It continues once you go through the awakening process. I am wise, intuitive, and connect with my inner guidance. I nurture my spirit. I listen to wisdom of elders. It's important to listen to elders because they've gone through it, and you can learn a lot from your elders, you guys. So respect your elders, and of course respect your teachers and your mentors. I see a lot of people out there this day and age, specifically in this career, in this profession. I see a lot of people copying other people's work, plagiarizing their work, and taking it for their own, and not paying tribute to those that taught them. I always pay it forward, and I always acknowledge those that have helped me in my journey. And I've had some great teachers along the way. Mavis Patilla, Paul Jacobs, Tony Stockwell, Penny Hayward, who else? Eamon Downing. Just people that come to my mind. My personal mentor, Kay, who's now in spirit. Pay it forward, and also pay respect to your elders and people that have helped you get here. And also, you know, I trust my intuition is a great affirmation. I forgive myself. I love and accept myself. I know that all is well in my world. I listen to the wisdom of elders really kind of stands out with me. So again, if you want more inspiration and you want more guidance, join us for Level Up. The link is in the description field. We're going to head over to the Healing Cafe right now and get ready for that. I just want to give you your number for the week, your crystal for the week. Just going to give you a basic crystal. This is just a basic crystal. If you want to open up the third eye and start to see, along with looking with the two physical eyes, but start to see with your spiritual eye, just a basic crystal can really open that up. You don't need any fancy crystals. This is just a basic crystal. Think of it like an amplifier for a guitar. You plug the guitar into the amplifier and everything gets amplified. That's what crystals can do for you on your journey. As far as the numerology pathways, the day today is the change. Wow, look at that. The change that is coming. This color, remember I talked about colors? This color for me literally represents transformation. This is the metamorphosis of the caterpillar that deliquefies itself in the cocoon phase and reliquefies through the metamorphosis color of this turquoise blue. The number 5 represents that freedom to have the change and to accept what is. And again, the color and change. And then the totem animal spirit for this week, I'm just going to pick at random, is, well, the monkey. So we've got change, we've got the 5, which is the freedom, love, and adventure, we've got the color of turquoise, which is metamorphosis, and now we've got the monkey card. And the monkey card literally says, try something new and be open to change, because again, guys, the only thing consistent with life is change, and I hope that you'll keep up with the waves of change and be a big wave surfer on top of those waves and surf them, versus being a victim underneath the waves and being pounded over and over again and not enjoying life. So it's been great to talk with you today. I hope that you'll join me for the Level Up series or the Healing Cafe, which is going to start right now. And we're going to have a special guest joining us for free readings, spiritual chats, Q&A. Make sure to read the directions in the description when I come live. So you're only asking one question. We get a pretty long queue of people, and I want to try to get to everybody if I can before time runs out, but also save a little bit of energy so I can do my inspirational talks for the Level Up series. So thanks for hanging out with me this morning. I hope that you're doing okay during these, again, very challenging times. Again, stay safe, stay healthy, stay properly informed, stay home, wear a mask. There's no... I did a post the other day. Be like if you watch Star Wars, or if you watch The Mandalorian, always keep your mask on. He keeps his helmet on. He doesn't take it off in public, but it says be like a Mandalorian. Keep your mask on. Never take it off in public. And you know, keep people safe. It's a respect thing. You know, I found out a lot of my family got exposed over on Spokane from the COVID, and had a big party, and everybody got exposed. So again, it's still out there, guys. So stay safe, stay home, stay healthy, stay properly informed, and of course, until our next soul adventure together, be kind, be caring, be compassionate in all that you do. Thanks for hanging out with me here in Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. See you over in the Healing Cafe. And most importantly, dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live, and of course, drink lots of coffee. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. Namaste.